Before we start talking about Robin Gosens and his unique journey from football wilderness to football greatness, let's first give a big shout out to his legendary Germany teammate, World Cup winner, Champions League winner and Bayern Munich goal-scoring machine Thomas Müller, who recently became a part of our Goalside family. Thanks for being a part of our family, Thomas, and we look forward to your input on our work in the future. Okay, so today we're going to have a discussion on the career of Robin Gosens, who followed a rather unconventional path to the German national team and is now the first name on Joachim Löw's starting 11 at the Euros. We're also going to talk about how he almost became a police constable and would have been chasing criminals instead of forwards. So, everyone, make sure that you subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications, because Goalside is growing and we want to make sure that you're a part of this exciting football channel as it crosses all barriers and becomes every football fan's main source of all things football. Small town boy who dreamt big. Emmerich is a small town in the North Rhine-Westphalia with a population of 30,000. It's also the same town that gave West Germany Rainer Bonhoff, a key player in West Germany's 1974 World Cup triumph over the Netherlands. But this town hasn't really produced a lot of football players, which is why Gosens' achievements are a rarity and are celebrated by the locals. Born to a Dutch father and a German mother, Gosens started playing football at the age of 6 and then signed for a couple of local teams in the coming years. However, that wasn't enough, and during his early forays as a young boy, he was criticised by his teammates due to his poor technique and lack of coordination. He'd never been to a youth academy and lacked the basics to play football the right way. The only good thing about his game was his ability to run and fill the gaps, but that was never enough for the local coaches, who were certain that the youngster would never make it as a professional footballer. By the time he was nearly 18, Gosens was done with his education, but didn't know what direction he should take. While he did have some football ability, it was deemed sufficient for Sunday League level. Struggling and not sure what to do next, he briefly worked at a petrol station and even tried to join the police. Sadly though, his career as a police constable wouldn't kick off due to a height difference in his legs. Shining in front of the Dutch. In life, we all get opportunities to make something for ourselves. Something similar happened to Gosens. He had a football game in the morning where he scored a goal, supplied one assist, and even scored from the spot. For the youngster, this was a normal game, not the sort that would earn him a dream move somewhere. However, as the gods of football had preordained it to be, a scout from Vitesse Arnhem was attending the game and was so impressed by the young player that he asked him to attend a trial at the club, and that's when everything changed. An 18-year-old boy who never went through the same processes that aspiring footballers in Germany go through was close to becoming a professional footballer for a Dutch Eredivisie side. He did well at the trial and managed to grab the opportunity with both hands. The year was 2014. He had signed for Vitesse's under-23 side and succeeded in his exams. Upon his arrival in the Netherlands, Gosens didn't make an instant impact, but had a great loan spell at Dordrecht, which earned him a move to Heracles Almelo. In his first season there, Gosens scored 2 goals and set up 5 in what was a great first season for him. Sunday League footballer comes good. As a youngster, Gosens' style of football had been branded too Sunday League to be trusted. However, one good season with Heracles alerted Serie A high flyers Atalanta, who were quietly working on creating a side that would shake the very fabric of Italian football and challenge the status quo of the Serie A. Gian Piero Gasperini, the Atalanta manager, was impressed by the youngster's work rate and knew that the fullback would be the final piece of the puzzle. The Italian tactician expects his players to give it their all on the field regardless of talent. He likes hard-working players, and Gosens had always been a player who would be willing to put his body on the line for the cause. His fighting spirit epitomized all the things that Atalanta achieved. In his first season, Gosens scored a goal and provided 1 solitary assist, but his overall energetic displays showed what was to come in the future. The campaign that changed everything. Atalanta were flying high, but needed a bit more about them. The 2019-20 campaign ended up being a memorable one, with La Dea getting close to winning the title. For Gosens, it was a successful campaign where he scored 9 goals and provided 8 assists. By then, he'd already established himself as one of the standout players in Serie A, and his stock was rising. During the 2020-21 campaign, the 26-year-old scored a career high of 11 goals and provided 6 assists. And though his team didn't win any trophy, it was clear that they were stronger with Gosens. Call up to the German national team. All that relentless running and fighting tooth and nail for success, it was only a matter of time before Joachim Löw called the left-back to the national side. The call-up was something that you rarely see, given the industrial streamlined process of extensive development that permeates much of European football. This was a player who'd trodden a random twisting path through a rather unprofessional amateur league structure. Normally, such players don't get anywhere near to Zweite Bundesliga, but then again, Gosens was always meant to defy normal conventions. The fullback is yet to play a single minute in the Bundesliga, but is now a full German international and a man Löw cannot afford to leave on the bench. The German manager's decision to opt for a 3-4-3 system has played a big role in getting the best out of the Atalanta fullback, and he hasn't looked back since. Testing Euros, but assured displays. We all knew that the group of death was going to be a test of nerves for all participating teams, especially Germans, who many believe are a giant that is about to go back to sleep. They lost their opening game to France 2-1, and it was widely thought that the national side could crash out of the group stages. While many players struggled for Die Mannschaft, Gosens managed to hold his own. Then came the outing against Portugal. Germany simply had to win the game in order to keep hopes of featuring in the last 16 alive. Fernando Santos' side might not be the most attacking side in the tournament, but the reigning European champions are a tough nut to crack. But that was all about to change, because Gosens decided to play at an entirely different level. The Atalanta man was at his best on that day, scored a goal, gave an assist, and it was his menacing cross that forced Ruben Dias into diverting the ball into his own net. He could have scored from a fine acrobatic effort. Unfortunately, that goal was disallowed due to an earlier offside. For Gosens, the game was also about settling an old score with Cristiano Ronaldo, who made him feel very small a year ago. While at Atalanta, Gosens' request for Ronaldo's shirt was rejected by the legendary Portuguese, and this is something that the player has also mentioned in his autobiography. He didn't even look at me, he just said no. I was completely blushed and ashamed. I went away and felt small. Well, guess who was made to feel small and inconsequential in the aftermath of Portugal's capitulation? And after giving Ronaldo a lesson in humility and giving Portugal a hiding, Gosens chose not to ask for his shirt. Those Germany fans who never felt a connection with a player who's never played inside a Bundesliga stadium can relate to him. Indeed, his background and path makes him sound just like a regular guy who managed to wear his country's colours against all odds due to sheer willpower and grit. More than that, his extreme Sunday League way of playing makes him an unpredictable player to play against, and then his sliding tackles are also pretty effective. The game against Hungary was also a difficult one, and while the rest of his teammates struggled to contain them, Gosens held his own and was seemingly unfazed by the relentless energy shown by the Minnows. In games like these, you need players with street fighting mentality, so Löw would have been happy to see Gosens not get overawed by the occasion. Dream big with Gosens. Now, the English media is quite confident that the national side will easily vanquish the Germans in the round of 16. The Three Lions are playing in Wembley and they haven't conceded a goal. Well, they haven't come across this man, who might make life a torturous fleeting moment for the English right-back, whoever that is on the day, and even Jordan Pickford, who might be susceptible to long ranges. Germany might not be the favourites to lift the Euros yet, but in all fairness, they shouldn't be underestimated either. In Robin Gosens, they have one of the most attacking fullbacks of the tournament, and someone who knows his way to goal. While he didn't take a tried and tested path to the German national side, Gosens is well and truly Löw's most trusted player, and someone who'll make the difference for his team when it's needed the most. His secret weapon? His Sunday League style of football, phenomenal lung-busting runs, and the ability to score goals unlike any fullback we've seen in recent years.